The sun had barely risen over the small town of Obuasi, casting a golden glow over the dusty streets. But the peaceful morning atmosphere was short-lived, as the sound of gunfire echoed through the air. In the nearby forest, a group of Galamsees, illegal miners, had been digging for gold in the dead of night. But they were not alone. A team of military personnel had been tracking them, determined to put an end to their illegal activities. As the military closed in, the Galamsees scrambled to gather their belongings and flee. But it was too late. The military opened fire, and the sound of bullets whizzing through the air filled the forest. Pandemonium broke out as the Galamsees tried to escape. Some were hit, falling to the ground as they cried out in pain. Others managed to flee, but the military was hot on their heels. In the chaos, a young Galamsee named Kofi found himself separated from his group. He ran as fast as he could, his heart pounding in his chest. But no matter how fast he ran, he could hear the military closing in. Just when he thought all was lost, Kofi saw a small stream running through the forest. Without hesitation, he jumped in, the cool water enveloping him like a shroud. He held his breath, watching as the military ran past, their guns scanning the forest floor. Kofi knew he couldn't stay hidden forever, but for now, he was safe. As the day wore on, the sound of gunfire began to fade. The military had retreated, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Kofi emerged from the stream, his clothes soaked and his body shaking with fear. He stumbled through the forest, searching for any sign of his fellow Galamsees. But as he walked, he stumbled upon a gruesome sight. 15 bodies lay scattered on the forest floor, their eyes frozen in death. Kofi's heart sank as he realized the true extent of the carnage. He had never seen anything so brutal in his life. He knelt beside one of the bodies, tears streaming down his face. "Why?" he cried out, his voice echoing through the forest. "Why did it have to end like this?" As he mourned the loss of his friends, Kofi knew that he had to get out of the forest. The military could return at any moment, and he didn't want to become their next victim. With a heavy heart, Kofi stumbled through the forest, searching for a way out. He eventually found a small village, where he was taken in by the locals. As news of the massacre spread, the villagers rallied around Kofi, offering him food and shelter. They listened in horror as he recounted the events of that fateful day. The villagers knew that the military would not take kindly to Kofi's story. They warned him to keep a low profile, to avoid drawing attention to himself. But Kofi knew that he couldn't stay hidden forever. He had to find a way to make sure that justice was served, that the military was held accountable for their actions. With the help of the villagers, Kofi began to speak out about the massacre. He told his story to anyone who would listen, from local journalists to human rights activists. Slowly but surely, Kofi's message began to spread. The government was forced to take action, launching an investigation into the military's actions. It was a small victory, but Kofi knew that it was a start. He had lost friends and comrades in the massacre, but he had gained something too, a voice, and a determination to fight for justice. As Kofi looked out over the village, he knew that he still had a long way to go. But he was no longer alone, and he was no longer silent. He had found a new purpose in life, and he was determined to see it through.